it's me, Malcolm Marie, your favorite big sister, mentor, and life coach. I wanted to come and have a quick Bible study with you all today around the topic of identity crisis. And we're doing this as we prepare to meet together on December 17th and 18th at our Biblical Self-Esteem Workshop. When we think about identity crisis, have we ever connected it with self-esteem or even connected it with Scripture? Well, today, we're going to take a look at both how identity crisis is attached to both self-esteem and Scripture. Let's begin. Let's take a look at Matthew chapter 4, verse 6. And he said unto him, if you be the Son of Yah. We're going to stop right there because that's the statement we want to park at for a few minutes, specifically at that word if. According to Collins Dictionary, one would use the word if in conditional sentences to introduce the circumstances in which an event or situation might happen, might be happening, or might have already happened. The word if in this scenario has one purpose, and that is simply to create doubt. The enemy was hoping that Yahushua did not know who he was. You see, not knowing who you are is the original identity theft. The number one existential question for centuries is, who am I? And the question by itself might sound absurd, that a person would not know who they are. But think about the time that we're now living in, where we can't even define who or what is a woman, where we can decide our identity. You know, this is just confusion. And the enemy has been attacking the identity of humanity for thousands of years. All right, maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. So what is identity? Simply, identity is being who or what a person or thing is, right? Elements of identity might include things like race and ethnicity, gender, age, physical attributes, religious belief, etc. And these are, for the most part, concrete elements, all right? So at this point, you might be asking yourself, okay, Malka, what does identity have to do with self-esteem? And I'm glad you thought of that question. So let's dig a little deeper. The etymology of the word identity means sameness, oneness, or state of being the same. This word shares the same root as the word identical. Now, most of you might know that I am an identical twin, which means that my sister and I basically have the exact same DNA. As a matter of fact, our children are legitimately half-siblings. Most people can't tell us apart. Let's take a look at Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. And Elohim said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth. So Elohim created man in his own image. In the image of Elohim created he him. Male and female created he them. We're going to take a look at three areas where we have identity, where, in other words, we have sameness with something, right? So the first one is the Most High. That word in Hebrew for image is zelem, and it means to have a resemblance. In other words, to have sameness. So our first identity is us matching with the Most High because we were created in his image. The second thing is having identity with ourselves, that our inner person matches our actions, right? Are we living our convictions? Are we manifesting the spiritual truths and values that we believe in? And the third area of identity that we must have is one with what the Most High says that we are. And we're really going to dig deep in this one at the workshop. You see, a lack of understanding your identity in any of these areas will lead to an identity crisis. When it comes to identity, a crisis can occur when there's a conflict between two opposing values. So in our three areas, what does that look like? Well, in our first scenario, it could be us being in conflict with who the Most High is, right? We're not matching his character, his values, his attributes. In our second scenario, it could be us being in conflict with our own values and actions. We're not matching. We don't talk the walk. We don't walk the talk. Or in our third scenario, we're having conflict with who the Father says we are and who we believe that we are. Again, we'll dig more into this at the workshop. But any of these conflicts is where self-esteem can reside. Let's take a look at Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 5. Now the enemy was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yahweh Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, has Elohim said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim has said, You shall not eat of it, neither shall you touch it, lest you die. And the serpent said unto the woman, You shall not surely die. For Elohim does know that in the day you eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened, and you shall be as mighty ones, knowing good and evil. Now, what's wrong here? The enemy has led Hawa to believe that she was lacking something, that there was something that the Most High was withholding from her, but she was created in the image and likeness of the Most High. She wasn't lacking anything. She had everything she needed. She was everything she needed to be. She was already enough. It says so in Genesis 1:27. But the problem is that Hawa either didn't know her prototype, that is the Most High Father, or didn't believe the Mighty One, or thought that she was really lacking something. So now something outside of her appealed to her. We know the rest of the story. Daughters of Yah, I invite you to learn who you are. The only identity we want and should be working toward is being sameness and oneness with Abiyah and who he says we are, which is only done through Yahushua, the Messiah. Let's close out with 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 18. And I will be a father unto you, and you shall be my sons and daughters, says El Shaddai. I really hope you enjoyed this little study, a little preview of some of the work we have to do when it comes to our self-esteem, when it comes to our identity. And I really look forward to sharing this with you all on December 17th and 18th. I will leave a link in the description box for the free registration. This workshop is free and is open to any woman of faith that is looking to align themselves with what the word says, who they are. So share this with friends and family, register, and I hope to see you all December 17th and 18th. As always, it is me, Malcolm Marie, your favorite big sister, mentor, and life coach. Shalom, Queens.